Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Hello, baby. How you doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. I wonder if we'll have a spider in the studio today.
I sure hope not.
Hope not, too. We never did find him yesterday. Coming up, we do have a guest. Maybe not an eight-legged guest, but we do have a guest. Dr-Laura-Jana. Going to be talking about kids and respect. So that's always a good thing. RESPECT.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of that. 97% of the world's water is in the ocean. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Most of the water is in the ocean.
I did.
So, also, over 350 million people suffer from a thing called FAD, which is Facebook addiction disorder. Do you think you have that?
Not as much as some people do.
Who has it worse, me or you?
You.
Do you think so?
Yeah. Our daughter
Yeah.
has it worse than both of us,
Yeah,
but you.
we probably do. And a recent study found that women that suffer from depression live longer than women who don't. One more thing to be depressed about.
I really don't think that's true.
Yeah, that's what they say. Coming up, we got some special stuff to talk about. It's all on the way.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, December the 15th. We're halfway through the month of December. Today is Bill of Rights Day. It is, for a second there, I thought this said something else. Cat Herders Day. I thought it said Cat Herpes Day. I was like, what the what? I still don't understand cat herders either, though. Who herds cats?
Not me.
I used to work with a guy that said, he's like, you guys are like, working with you guys is like herding cats. So apparently there is a cat herders. Wasn't there like a Super Bowl ad a couple years ago that had that?
I have no idea.
I think it did. Hey, it's free shipping day today.
Ooh.
The third Thursday, participating retailers, and I don't know who they are, but I guess they all chip in on this free shipping thing. And it is National Cupcake Day. Guess which one I'm going to celebrate?
Probably free shipping day.
No. Cupcake Day. Either that or I'm going to herd some cats while eating a cupcake, but probably not. I'll just enjoy the cupcake.
John and Heidi.
This is my favorite time of year. The lights, the fun parties, and the family get-togethers. Many of us have boxes of home videos capturing these memories. But sadly, these memories are fading away because the videotape was not the best format. My friend CJ has a business called Tape It Up Reproductions. They transfer your precious memories to a digital format with the option to enhance the audio and the video to make them look and sound better than ever. His website is tapingitup.com, or you can call or text 412-766-1679.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. I actually have read about this guy, and I think it's fascinating. And I don't know if Heidi is going to find it fascinating, but he's in the World Book of Records, the Guinness Book of World Records.
I think that is ridiculous, that book.
You're not really into this kind of stuff.
I'm really not.
But they call this man the human magnet. He has pulled a car 20 meters using nothing but the magnetism in his body. A Malaysian man claims to have pulled a car 20 meters using nothing but his magnetic forces. The pensioner, dubbed the Magnetic Man, said he used an iron chain hooked on an iron plate, which was placed by his stomach to move the vehicle. He says he discovered he had a magnetic body, it's hard to say, about 10 years ago after reading an article about a Taiwanese family that had the same skill. This man says the first time he tried to pull a vehicle... What?
He wouldn't have known about it ahead of time. Like every time you walk by a paperclip, come smashing towards your face.
I have no idea how any of this stuff works. It says here, where was I? You interrupted me, Heidi.
I am sorry, but I think this is absolutely made up because he would have known his body was magnetic before reading about a different family.
Maybe he
and then testing it out.
Has a way to turn this magnet on and off.
Whatever.
First time he tried to pull a vehicle, he planned to be recorded for the Malaysian Book of World Records. 70-year-old man says, I took several iron objects and put them at my abdomen. To my surprise, all the objects, including an iron, stuck on my skin and did not fall down.
Wait a minute. How can there be a Malaysian Book of World records.
I don't know.
Are they not all? Are we not all in the same world?
But there's a Malaysian Book of Records and a Guinness Book of World Records. So 2 different books.
Okay.
But so Malaysia has their own records. And then
whatever.
He says the gift is also present in 3 of his sons and 2 of his grandchildren. So they are a very magnetic family.
That's fantastic.
Are you attracted to that kind of thing?
Not even a little bit.
Well, it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. Drugs and jury duty don't mix. It's not a good reason to try to get out of jury duty either. A man made a mockery of the justice system when he tried to get himself removed from a jury pool in a death penalty case by claiming he's a heroin addict and a killer. Yeah. How'd that go for you, Benjamin? Benjamin Ratliff, Columbus, Ohio, was charged with contempt of court and obstruction of justice.
Gosh.
Ordered to spend a night in jail. Ratcliffe filled out a questionnaire form for potential jurors to be professed to what? Oh, and professed to be a badly jonesing, quote, for heroin. When asked if he'd ever fired a weapon, he wrote, "Yes, I killed someone with it, of course." So he was trying to get ejected from jury duty.
What an idiot.
Got inserted into jail instead. So that's not a good plan. If you're trying to get out of jury duty, don't say you killed somebody, because that's going to put you in prison instead of jury duty.
First
I think
of all,
that's worse.
serve jury duty.
Yeah.
It's
I've
your
never done
civil
it.
duty.
I've never been asked. Have you ever
I've been asked.
Did you have to serve?
I did not get. Well, no, our case was dismissed before we were going to trial. I was chosen for the jury, and then the case was settled. So
Oh, there you go. Otherwise, Heidi would be like, "Fry him!" Excuse me, ma'am. It's not time for that yet. All right, coming up, we have your moment of duh.
John and Heidi.
Tis the
What?
Tis the season to have folly. I can't even read the dumb headlines without messing them up. Balducci's Deli in New York City decided to celebrate the holidays with a sale on ham. Now, keep in mind, this is your moment of duh. They did this in New York City. They put a sale on ham. They even put a sign in their window saying the ham is perfect for Hanukkah. Apparently, they're the only ones that didn't realize that this is probably not a good thing for Hanukkah because they don't eat ham.
Why don't they eat ham?
Because it's not kosher.
Isn't kosher just it was blessed by a rabbi?
Okay,
Isn't that all kosher is? So bless some freaking pigs and eat up. It's delicious.
Not the way it works.
Why not? I thought that's what it was. I thought that's what kosher was.
Eventually, they changed the sign to just say "perfect for the holidays." So the Hanukkah ham didn't catch on.
I kind of like the sound of that.
I'm going to have to talk to my Jewish friend and ask him how that works. I don't know what it takes to make it kosher. All I know is we should quit talking about it because we have your scoop of the day on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. Ready for this, Heidi?
Sure.
Buckle up, Buttercup. We got some statistics for you. 62% of people would be unwilling to become a vegetarian if their partner asked them to.
I would absolutely be amongst that number.
So you would not? If I
There's
came to you
no
and I
way.
said, Heidi, would you please become a vegetarian with me?
First of all,
Yeah.
that would never happen.
You don't think I would
This
do
is a
that?
ridiculous question.
Well, I'm just saying.
But no, if you ever said that to me, I'd be like,
You,
I'll wipe the drool off of your face as I'm eating my steak when you're watching me when you have your little salad.
so now let's reverse the thing. Let's say you came down with some sort of condition where you could never eat meat ever again, and you said, "Hey, I want you to become a vegetarian." Do you think I would do it for you?
No.
I would while
No.
I'm around the house at least.
Yeah, you'd be sneaking off to the drive-thru
Where you
every
going?
5 minutes.
Where are you going? I'm going to walk the dogs again.
It's not the same
You
thing.
took the car last time.
So the answer then would be no. You would not do it.
At least around you it would be. In a recent survey, another statistic here, 68% of Americans prefer
Hey, wait
stores.
a minute here. Let's go back to that. Why is it in my scenario I've got some horrible disease where I could die if I'm eating meat.
Because I knew if
you just chose to not eat meat anymore.
If I didn't pose that, you would never just choose to not eat meat. I'm just asking. So there you go. Can I get back to this? Heidi, we're on the clock there, sweetheart.
Sure.
We're working over here. A recent survey found 68% of Americans prefer stores with signs that say Merry Christmas over stores who have signs that say Happy Holidays.
I agree with that.
So if you want to increase sales over the holidays, they're saying might want to throw away the Happy Holidays stuff and back up the Merry Christmas stuff. Hey, there's a controversy over a new version of the poem 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Guess what happened?
I have no idea.
Other than I goofed up how you say it. 'Twas the night before Christmas. In this one, Santa Claus is not smoking a pipe. They edited that out because they thought they could make Santa a better example.
Smoking a stogie.
No, he's not. He's not smoking anything. Hey, preventing obesity and preventing smoking can save lives, but it does save. I can't talk today. But does it save money too? According to researchers, it costs more to care for healthy people who live longer. So researchers are now finding from age 20 to 56, obese people rack up the most expensive healthcare costs. But because both smokers and obese people die sooner, the health group, than any other health group, rather, it actually costs less to treat them in the long run. So they're saying, hey, if you want,
there you go.
If you want to save money, you want to quit smoking and stuff.
And you're helping out with population control.
But they're saying if you want the system to save money, just, chug them down and smoke them up or whatever, according to that. I think you should live healthy because we want you to be around a long time. And
like you do.
Live healthy like me. I don't smoke. I just eat terribly.
Don't smoke.
I don't smoke. I don't really drink much, but I eat awful. I mean, it's probably about as bad as it could be.
Yeah.
Like I had gravy on top of gravy the other day. So,
you did.
Like, you get some more gravy for my gravy? Hey, in case you haven't heard, those funny-looking swirly fluorescent bulbs, they're not as environmentally friendly as everybody thought. Do they last longer? Yeah, a little bit. Do they use less energy? Yeah, a little bit. But they also contain mercury. And it could contaminate
we've
up
known
to
this forever. That's why we don't have a single one of those bulbs in our home.
They could contaminate up to 6,000 gallons of water beyond safe drinking levels. Could cause kidney and brain damage as well. Experts say fluorescent bulbs are still better for the environment because they're more energy efficient.
Yep.
So, there you go. Here's the thing that we do around our house. We just make sure we turn the lights off when we leave the room. So
yeah, don't even get me started.
She just yelled at me because I had like every light in the house. I didn't mean to. I had a lot of lights on the other day. Hey, our final story here is this one here. Jimmy Kimmel has been chosen to host the 2017 Oscars. He was actually their second choice. They had called me, and then I got the voicemail, but I got it way too late. So by the time I got the voicemail, they already asked him. I was like, hey, give me a second chance, man. Of course, they didn't really call me. I want to make sure I say that because I don't want people.
I don't think anybody is confused by that statement.
I'm pretty certain that's the case. But for that one person who thought I was actually being serious for once, I want to make sure you know I'm just a big old goofball. No, that's not true. Coming up, we've got a special guest that's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Radio advertising works. When it's done right, it works even better. There are many things you can do to get a better response, and shouting sale really isn't the best thing, believe it or not. Did you know that when you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable? If you're trying to get people to remember your company, consider a jingle. We work with one of the very best jingle companies in the business, and we'd love to use music to help you grow your company. Learn more and hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Today we're going to be speaking with a special guest about how to raise selfless children in a selfie world. You want to have good kids? Well, listen up. We have pediatrician and parenting expert, Dr. Laura Jana. She's joining us right now. Dr. Laura Jana, how are you?
I'm good. Great to be joining you.
Well, glad to have you on the program. And it's fun because, you know, in the world we live in today, there are kids that kind of get things handed to them quite often. And, you know, I officially have become old because now I quite often tell my kids, when I was a kid, I used to have to do this, you know, whatever it is. So does that mean I'm getting old? Or?
No, 7 miles.
Yeah, well, I didn't have to walk uphill both ways or any of that stuff. But boy, I certainly didn't have it as good as the kids have it these days. Now, should we be concerned about how easy the kids have it? Or should we be concerned about the future of where we're going now?
Well, you know, concern is a pretty strong word. And what I like to focus on is the opportunities we have, sort of understanding what it is we can do for our kids, because in my over 20 years of, being a pediatrician and focused on the well-being of children, what I find is I've never met a parent who didn't want their child to grow up to be a good, kind, generous person, right? Like to have compassion and be honest and things. So what I'm excited about I see what's happening in the world, and there are discussions about, social media and is it making us more or less connected to other people. And I think lots of parents share that concern. In fact, this national survey that Primrose Schools did of parents across the country, but what they found was over 90% of parents shared this belief that it's even more important now than ever to focus on these skills like generosity and compassion and honesty and all, where it's positive character skills and traits are more important than ever. But at the same time, what I focus on is what could we be doing? How do we address that? And that always is challenging for parents, right? What I have found and what the survey found is that not only is there a huge opportunity in the first 5 years before people even realize that you can develop social emotional skills in young children, is that almost half of parents who were surveyed did not realize, even at preschool age, that is an appropriate and actually a great time to foster these skills. So that's where I like to focus is, what can I help parents understand that they may not see as an opportunity otherwise?
I think it just partially answered my question, because you said it, even at age 5, but my question was going to be, at what age do they start learning these development skills? You're saying it's even before they start kindergarten?
Oh, absolutely. And first of all, I try to at least partially answer people's questions, but usually I try to go for the whole question. No, you know what? My philosophy has always been from birth. Right? We know now, and again, it depends whether you want me to talk about the neuroscience and the neuroimaging, but even if we go there, some of the exciting research being done in brain science shows us, first of all, that we've got some of the most rapid rate of development of social emotional skills and executive function skills and skills that we all care about in those first 5 years. But even something like empathy, there is now hard evidence, not just warm and fuzzy soft evidence, but hard evidence that shows us that even as early as 6 months of age, we know that babies are developing that. And it is a skill that can be developed, right? So you ask me at what age, I say from birth, right? The first 5 years are really a window of opportunity that has been under-recognized, if not recognized at all.
So you can never start too early then?
Sure, and if I want to anticipate what your next question is going to be, what I get a lot from parents is, well, what does that mean? Like, what should we do? Some of the things that parents often do naturally, talking, cooing, singing, and reading books to babies, they're warm and fuzzy things to do. They're nice things to do. You do those things with your baby because you love them. But what I like parents to understand is they are actually connecting neurons in babies' brains for really foundational skills that lead to all the things that in this sort of big picture world we want everyone to have, right? The ability to communicate with others, collaboration and teamwork certainly, but also sort of empathy, which is a word that's tossed around a lot, but it really at its core means understanding emotions, other people's emotions, and perspective taking and things. And, again, I think you'd be hard-pressed in this day and age to find anyone who doesn't think that that's a very important skill that's only going to get more important as we go forward.
Our guest today, pediatrician and parenting expert, Dr. Laura Jana. And now I'm reading in the info here that a child's IQ is really not enough these days to measure whether or not they're ready for school. What are some of the other things that we should be looking at to find out if they're ready to start kindergarten?
Well, sure, and I'm really glad you asked that question because, we've always, in the 80s and the 90s, we focused on the IQ or sort of the cognitive academic skills. And reading and writing and arithmetic or those pre-literacy skills and pre-math skills that are focused on, for example, in educational childcare settings are still very important, right? But what we've overlooked is that equally important are these what has been called soft skills, right? Non-cognitive, but we know that they're not soft and they're not non-cognitive. And those are skills where at their core, it's, again, learning to read, first of all, control your own emotions, but also recognize other people's emotions. It's learning honesty and fairness and compassion and things. And, in the survey that was done, over half of parents thought that preschool was too early or that their kids wouldn't be able to get, like either didn't get or wouldn't be able to get honesty, generosity, or compassion skills in an early education setting. And so that's where I like to focus. Having been an owner of a Primrose school myself, I owned an educational child care center for almost 10 years. And absolutely, that was blended into our curriculum, into our activities. And again, seeing it as a partnership with parents, because we know that parents are the single most important teacher that children will ever have. But it needs to be a partnership, and it's very early.
So what can parents do if they want to make sure that they get their kids' life off to the right start? What can they do, even from like birth, from early ages? What can they do to kind of get them set on the right path?
Wonderful. Well, great question. And the single most important factor in early childhood development is now proving itself to be a caring, responsive adult. And parents certainly have this huge opportunity. I would say, as CEOs, but as chief engagement officers. The more they engage with their babies, and that's from newborns, it's eye contact and smiling and cooing and things. As they get older, it's modeling the kind of behaviors we're talking about. So whether that's gratitude, more than just the rote please and thank you, and it's good to learn to say please and thank you, but that's how do you build in that sense of gratitude and thankfulness for what other people have done, or generosity. As kids get older, you can do things like my favorite activity when I owned my Primrose was the Caring and Giving canned food drive, which is going on right now across the country. So there's over 300 early education centers doing this, where the kids don't just bring in cans from home, but they do chores. They think about how they can earn sort of the money to buy the food, and then they think about what food would you need to be healthy and what kids may not have. They go to the grocery store. They help to pick it out. And, at my center, we actually took the kids on a field trip to deliver food to kids who might not otherwise have it. Those sorts of things can be done at home. Parents can do it, but what I've found is a lot of times parents are really busy, myself included, and I actually felt guilty that I didn't have time to do some of those more organized activities. And that brings me to the last thing parents can do, because millions of children in the U.S. are in childcare settings. And it is really important that when parents look for an educational childcare kind of setting, they first and foremost look for an environment that's nurturing, right? Because a caring, responsive adult is at the center of all of this. But also looking for places that don't just look at the reading, writing, math sorts of school readiness skills, but actually put as much thought into these social emotional skills and putting it into curriculum and in the day-to-day interactions with children. Because it's, again, the overarching belief of who children become is as important as what they know.
Very nice. Again, our guest today, pediatrician and parenting expert and award-winning author, Dr. Laura Jana. And Dr. Laura Jana, I got to say, I love the fact that you've got books for adults, but you also have books for kids as well on your website. I think that is really cool.
Well, thank you very much. And you'll be excited to know, in addition, I was going to say people can find more information about the survey and about sort of, early brain development and some of the research on the promoseschools.com/blog. But you're going to get the little preview here. I also have another book coming out that is written for parents, but really adults, parents or not, called The Toddler Brain, Nurture the Skills Today That Will Shape Your Child's Tomorrow. And it focuses squarely on these skills. And again, the beauty of it is having, been a parent, been in pediatrics for over 20 years, and owned an educational childcare center, I really got a wide view of how important these skills are, and also the real opportunity we have that I don't want parents to overlook.
Very nice. Well, thank you so much for doing what you're doing. This is really cool.
Hey, well, thank you. Thanks for the time to talk to you today.
Again, Dr. Laura Jana, and her website, if you'd like to know more, dr-laurajana.com. You can see books on there. There's a blog on there. There's all kinds of fun stuff. You're going to learn a lot. Again, Dr. Laura Jana, and it's DR for doctor, dr-laurajana.com.
John and Heidi.
When is the last time you changed the air filter on your furnace? Now, don't be embarrassed. That happens to a bunch of us. The furnace filter should be changed often. This will help your heating and cooling system run more efficiently, and it'll even extend the life of your system. Now, there's an easy way to make it happen. Filter Easy, a new subscription service that delivers your size filter right to your door on the schedule you choose. It's easy. Filter Easy. One less thing to worry about. Learn about a special offer available now at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The world's rarest gem is painite. Painite. Painite.
It's so rare that I've never heard of it.
Only 3 crystals have ever been found. Ever. Painite. I have 2 of them. No, I don't.
Where do they find them?
I don't know. In a painite mine, I'm thinking. I don't know. I have no idea. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Bills in denominations of 500 and up were last printed in 1969 in the United States. So if you have a bill that's a $500 bill or higher, it's an old one. If it's anything newer than that, it's not real. So there you go. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Speaking of money, Vietnamese currency is all paper. They have no coins in Vietnam.
Oh.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In Britain, instead of keeping your car jack in the trunk, where do you keep it? In the boot.
Oh, yeah, it's a boot.
Yeah. They call a trunk a boot. So, but it's the same thing. It's still the trunk.
It's still the trunk.
They just call it the boot.
But in some of their cars, the trunk is in the front. So
I don't know. It's still the boot. Either way. Couple of fun facts for you right there. Don't go messing with my fun facts. You're going to ruin this whole bit. Couple of fun facts for you there on a Thursday.
John and Heidi.
This is Richard Lustig, the world's first and only 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Since I endorsed Lottolicious, I have won something every single draw. They do all the work. You don't have to worry about running to the store to buy your tickets. They take care of all that. So if you're looking for the best way to play the lottery, to give yourself the best chance of winning, go to RadioLottoPool.com and join today. Again, that website is RadioLottoPool.com.
John and Heidi.
Do you like nuts?
I do.
I like nuts as well. Next time you're hungry, maybe you grab a handful of nuts. It doesn't matter. I don't know why that just struck me funny. It doesn't matter if it's peanuts or pistachios. People who snack on lots of nuts. Why is this story? Would you quit smirking like that? People who snack on nuts are 20% less likely to die from any cause. According to research from Dana-Farber Cancer Institute and Brigham and Women's Hospital at Harvard School of Public Health, that's not all. They also say people who eat a lot of nuts regularly are also thinner than those who don't eat nuts a whole lot. Findings that should alleviate the widespread worry that eating a lot of nuts will actually lead to weight gain. They say, oh, contraire, mon frere. It's actually quite the opposite. I don't know what any of that meant. Overall, those who eat nuts on a daily basis have a 20% reduction of death from all causes, specifically a reduction of 29% in death from heart disease and an 11% reduction in death from cancer. So there you go. If you want to be healthy, you should have a diet filled with lots of different kind of nuts. So there's peanuts, pistachios. We could go on and name nuts all day, but we won't do that. Almonds, are those nuts?
Yes.
Do you think that
Brazil nuts. That's
Brazil
what I
nuts?
was trying to think of.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite nuts.
Do you like those?
I love those.
Do you like cashews?
Sure,
I like cashews. Do you like
cashews?
Yeah, what's that?
Cashews.
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 Did I say it wrong?
You always say cashews.
Cashew.
Like you're sneezing.
I like cashews.
They're cashews.
I like those. And I like, what is the other one? The macadamians. Oh, man, those are good.
I like those.
Those are expensive.
And pistachios.
Yeah, I went to buy some macadamia nuts. A little tiny jar was like $9,000.
Same thing with pistachios.
Maybe not
They're
quite that
insane.
much. Anyway, get out there and have a lot of nuts, and it's good for you. Coming up, going to talk about a state trooper that maybe has some splaining to do. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This is my favorite time of year. The lights, the fun parties, and the family get-togethers. Many of us have boxes of home videos capturing these memories. But sadly, these memories are fading away because the videotape was not the best format. My friend CJ has a business called Tape It Up Reproductions. They transfer your precious memories to a digital format with the option to enhance the audio and the video to make them look and sound better than ever. His website is tapingitup.com, or you can call or text 412-766-1679.
John and Heidi.
I have to be honest with you, Heidi. I've never, ever, ever been to Montana, but I would like to go sometime.
I have been to Montana.
I know you've been there. I would like to go because you can drive as fast as you want in Montana, right?
Okay. You know,
What?
there's no posted speed limits, but you have to drive within reason. You will get pulled over in Montana.
Well, and according to this story, you'll get pulled over in Montana just because. Take a listen. State troopers in Montana are now required to pull somebody over, at least one vehicle, every single hour, whether the drivers are doing something wrong or not.
Huh.
How weird is that? It's a way to cut down on accidents and drunk driving. They're just going to have to randomly pull people over if nobody's breaking the law. Troopers are not required to ticket the driver unless he or she is breaking the law. I can only imagine how that's going to go. You know why
so
I
what do you have to say to them?
I don't know. I could just think, you get up to the window. You know why I pulled you over? I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea either.
Have a nice day now.
So you keep on the road now. I thought maybe you were going to just confess to doing something wrong. Was it because I have a body in the trunk? No, but now it is. So I don't understand why they're having them do that, but there you go. That's happening right now in Montana.
John and Heidi.
If you want to stay healthy and not get a cold or flu or even pneumonia, your best protection is a good night's sleep, Heidi. You were making fun of me the other day because I was talking about not getting enough sleep, and I was having like a weird thing on the side of my tongue. You're like, you think that's because you're not getting enough sleep?
Does the story say if you don't want a bump on the side of your tongue, make sure you get plenty of sleep? That is not what it says.
That's pretty much what it
says. You didn't end
says.
up with a bump on your tongue because you aren't getting enough sleep.
I actually think I bit my tongue.
It's just like you seriously think that you get headaches because you don't cut your hair on time.
If I need to get a haircut, I'll get a headache. I'm like, oh, it's time to get a haircut.
So weird.
Anyway, sleep too little and put your body at a higher risk of getting infections, according to Health Day News, and also research from the University of, I think I said that wrong. I think it's Health Day News, not Health Day News. And University of California, San Francisco. What the heck happened today? They examined large amounts of data from the United States and U.S. National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, which spells out NHANES for some reason. I don't know what that means. Anyway, from 2005 to 2012, they got all this data, 23,000 men and women, and studies volunteered, and they the volunteers were... Let's put it this way. If they got more sleep, they got less sick. If they got less sleep, they got more sick. I should have said that 2 minutes ago. It just saved us all of this pain. All right. You know what I need? I need more sleep. That's what I need. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This time of year, we celebrate with family and friends.
And sometimes that involves drinking.
If you're going to be celebrating, please have a designated driver.
I lost my cousins to a drunk driver. They were only 8 and 12 years old.
Their lives were cut short because the driver was drunk and made a terrible choice.
Make good choices. Have a designated driver.
If you or a loved one has a problem with drugs or alcohol, now may be a great time for the gift of sobriety.
You can call Keystone Treatment Center at 844-204-1055.
That's toll-free, 844-204-1055.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Heidi, I think your head might explode when I read this to you.
Oh, great.
Believe it or not, Pokemon Go could save us all. Yeah, Pokemon Go. It says here, picture this. A major hurricane strikes the East Coast, and Pokemon Go switches to Red Cross mode. Instead of hunting down virtual monsters, users are rewarded for donating blood, or evacuating affected areas, or handing out emergency supplies, making donations. You get little tips for offering temporary housing and more. It would be like the emergency broadcast system, other than the fact that it would be actually mobilizing a community of responders to a disaster area instead of just interrupting TV shows. Gamification is what they're calling it. It's already been shown to be able to make people do things that they would not otherwise do, from recovering from injuries to learning a language to reducing electrical usage. Of course, one of the problems with this plan is spotty cell service during emergencies. So the whole plan might not be a very good plan, but technology is already being developed right now to address that too. They're saying, hey, well, we'll have to fix that, I guess. What do you think? You think Pokemon Go is going to save us all?
This whole thing reminds me of Halloween 3.
What was Halloween 3?
Halloween 3 was
I don't remember that.
they handed out all these masks for free to children, and then when they were wearing them and this certain song played, they all just like went nuts and started doing everything that they were told.
How did I miss that?
Exactly.
That was the plot of
That was
Halloween
3.
That sounds ridiculous.
It is absolutely ridiculous. But so is this.
Oh yeah, I guess
it seems like a giant brainwashing scheme to me. Doesn't it seem really super creepy that they're going to try and make people do things that they wouldn't normally do?
Yeah, I don't know.
With a device?
Yeah, I suppose. It's kind of...
It's a little bit creepy.
It almost does feel like we're in the future, you know. We're almost there. It's almost 2017. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember thinking about how different things would be. Never once did I have Pokemon involved in these thoughts. Not a single time. Anyway,
It's just super creepy.
they just say Pokemon Go.
I think people should be very concerned that,
And that
they're
technology.
experimenting with technology that will make you do things that you
Yeah.
would not normally
Well,
do.
they're saying that
And
technology.
people are falling in line.
They're saying the technology, though, could actually help us. So we'll have to,
Yeah,
have to sit back and see.
Okay. Well, I'm not putting on that mask.
All
I
right.
can tell you that right now. I'll be the
got my-
only one that wasn't brainwashed like in Halloween 3.
But here's the thing. I got my memo from the government. I had to read that. So there you go. I'm just teasing. There was no memo. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is pretty darn good news. This is actually a story from Palestine. I've never been to Palestine. Have you ever been to Palestine?
Either. No, I have not.
Is that a place that you've ever put like on your bucket list of places you'd want to go?
No.
Well, it doesn't sound like this is a place that a lot of people would want to go because it's a war-torn area. A lot of destruction there and a lot of terrible things that have happened. But there's a young lady in Palestine, a young girl there, that is turning the ashes and rubble into something positive. And it says, I'm kind of watching the little video here as we talk because there's not a story or there's not like a typed out story. But they've had 3 wars in 10 years in Gaza, and they're trying to rebuild. They're trying to get everything rebuilt. They've had a lot of problems, and there's a blockade right now that makes it impossible for them to import bricks. So this young lady came up with a thing called green concrete blocks. And what they're doing is they're like recycling the broken up buildings, and they're utilizing the ash from war, all of this, putting it together to develop these blocks, and they're made with rocks and sand and rubble and just all kinds of stuff that's laying around. And they came up with this radical solution, and they're utilizing all of this stuff that's in their country and stuff that's in the landfills, and they're building blocks that are actually green cake blocks. That's what they're called. They're environmentally friendly, not only for their area, but for the entire world. And they're lighter weight than the others, so they're easier to transport. And they're really solid. They're really strong blocks. They're using them to build walls and to build homes and to build all kinds of stuff. So it's really cool. So, and the cost is like half the cost of a regular block, too. And they're cleaning up all the junk that's laying around.
There you go.
So I just think that's a really cool thing.
It's a very
so
cool
that video
thing.
was shared with me, and I thought, you know what? That could be our good news for Thursday. And here it is. Good news on Thursday. If you'd like to see that video, I have it at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. If you would like to share some good news, please share it with me on that page and just send me a message with a link to the video or the story or whatever it is, and I'll use that as my good news. Maybe it'll be tomorrow. How's that sound?
There you go.
Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Again, that page is facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.